How are you?
Very good afternoon. I am fine, but not much because
Yeah.
I have too much cough and cold, and you can listen me that my voice is sounds different, right?
Yes, ma'am, I can see.
That's why daily I delayed you that I can't connect. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am, I can understand because if you are not well, then how can you continue? How can you connect? Yes,
of of course. Okay, Swati. So we are meeting first time, so I think that we should introduce ourselves. Okay, I would like to tell about myself. I'm Anjana, and I'm connecting to you from UP district Farrukhabad, and I'm a postgraduate. I'm a homemaker. If I talk about my hobbies, so I love teaching, listening music, reading books. Apart from that, I run a YouTube channel. Its name is Anjana Educational Videos. That's it.
okay, that's great. So my name is Swati Goyal. I am from MP. I have completed my graduation, post graduation also in English literature, and I am also a teacher. I teach in a private school. And if I talk about my hobbies, so my hobbies are writing poems, I love teaching, and I like to watch short stories, especially in English. So that's all about me.
That's wonderful, amazing introduction. I
Yes.
glad to know about you. So Swati, you love teaching, and I also love teaching. So
Yes,
what subject do you teach?
I teach English. English and maths also, but English is my main subject.
Okay, okay, same here. Actually, I also have done my post graduation in English literature.
Yes.
So I can teach only English, not math.
So you have done your BA also in English?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
I have done BSc in mathematics, PCM.
Okay, okay. After that, why did you take this decision to MA with English literature?
Yeah, because I was thinking that I like this subject, like English very much, so I want to know about it more and more. So that's why I joined English classes like MA.
Okay. So how long have you been teaching?
It has been 5 years in a school.
Okay. So continuously in one school you are teaching?
Yes, in one school.
So I think
Yeah,
you have good experience about teaching.
when I was in 11th, so I used to teach my small brother, younger brother. He is in 10th class. So I love teaching, and he got understand. In fact, his teacher taught him, so he don't understand because he was not very good in his study. But when I teach him any question, so he cleared all his doubts. That's why I can say that this is my passion from my childhood. But now I am a teacher, so I am very happy. So, ma'am, how do you feel when you teach?
You teaching is my passion and I love teaching. So I feel very happy and relaxed and satisfaction. When I don't teach, so I feel like that something is missing and I'm not feeling happy because it's when we follow our passion, so it gives us more happiness than other things we do, right?
So
So
you
I
teach
feel
in
very
your
happy.
own class. You teach in your own coaching classes, right?
Before COVID,
Or
I used to go outside in a school for teaching. And yes, when I was unmarried like you, so that time I also used to go in a school. And after getting married, I joined a school. But after COVID, I didn't join any school. So nowadays, I'm taking class at my home.
so
And
okay,
yeah, my husband also runs an institute. So after 2 months, I will join his institute.
okay. So, ma'am, as you like, first I want to know that up to which standard do you teach?
Yeah, nowadays I'm teaching students third to eighth class student. But yeah, I can teach also,
All
UP world
subjects.
students
Do
9
you
to
teach
12.
all subjects? Do you teach all subjects?
I teach English, and as I told you already that my math is not good. So I teach English, and my husband teaches them math. We both
Oh,
handle.
okay. So, ma'am, I want to know from you, from your, you also have a good experience that sometimes students don't want to focus on study. So, how can we bring their focus back to the study?
Yeah. So first of all, always try to inspire and motivate your student, because this is the real thing, that if children don't have interest in learning something, so how can they learn? Nowadays students don't focus too much in study. I can understand, because my husband always tell me that I am immersed in teaching and students don't listen me carefully, so I can understand. So yeah, but we are teachers, it's our responsibility to give better education. So I think always uh, try to tell the students the benefits of this language or this subject, and always try to inspire and motivate them, because if they would not know the value of the education, so they will not take interest. And nowadays children are not serious for learning anything. They always make fun and they always want to do masti like. So, and we also have to behave like that. So I always, when someone is very naughty, some students are very naughty and doing mischievous things, then I become strict. Otherwise I try to feel them that I am your friend, and just feel free to say anything to me. And so this is how I do. I always make fun with my students, because if we are totally focusing on studying, that I am teaching, I'm very serious and they are listening, so I think nowadays children don't want this thing. They are not serious. So
Yes.
yes, so I have friendly behavior with my students, and that's how they take interest in learning something.
So, ma'am, there are some students who are very focused towards study. They obey everything, whatever you tell. In fact, sometimes it happens that we said something and then we forget also. But they never forget. They remind us that, ma'am, you have said this and I have learned all. But there are in the same class there are some students who are totally different, who don't understand the value of study, who don't focus. In fact, they don't even pay attention when we are teaching. They are talking, so why this is a huge difference between them? Can you have you ever noticed this difference? And what do you think? What are your views?
Yeah, you are saying right. We can't say that the 50 students or 20 students in a class, so all students are same. How can we say? So they have different background, and I think this thing according to it, it is happening according to the different atmosphere they have. In class they have same atmosphere, like we are giving the same education to all students, but at home they are not getting same education. Sometimes their tutor are different, and the parents are different. So this happens. And sometimes, like, children are very small, and they don't have enough basic knowledge, so they are weak in, just they go in 4 5 class, so they are weak according to, due to their low education in the basic time, like when they are. Yes, one thing I would like to share you, that there are many parents, they always think that my kid is in LKG or UKG, so there is no need to tutor, there is no need to much focus on study. But I think that this is my opinion according to teacher, that this is very wrong thing. Even the student, when he is in UKG, LKG and first class, this is the main point, to give fully focus on the student and give all the things which they need, you know because if a foundation is not perfect, so how can we build up the whole building?
Building.
In the
Yes.
same way, students have this kind of different, that students who found good environment at their home by parents or tutor, so they are really good in study. And they who don't get good environment at home and by tutor, so they are low in study. I have noticed
Yes, ma'am.
this thing.
I'm completely agree with you. You have said that if their basic is not good, if they are not good in their basics, so they cannot understand the things we are teaching them, right? And if they are
Of
not
course,
understanding, if they are not understanding, so it is very obvious that they will lose their interest towards that subject. In fact, they will would find it boring. That's why
of,
everyone is good in sports because it is their interested thing. But whenever
yes, yes.
it comes to study, it is not interested thing because they got burdened by the parents, by the teachers, like study this, and they are not understanding that because their basic is not clear. So, ma'am, do you think like today most of the parents focused only on like numbers, marks, how many marks our child is getting, and most of the schools I have noticed this thing that they take this is important, this will come in the exam, take it, and then they mug up that question and then they got good marks. So do you think that it is a this is good education pattern?
No, no, no. I'm totally disagree with this point.
Yes,
Actually, my daughter goes in a very common school, not high school. And there, teachers always say that this is your RW, like revision work. You have to
yes,
prepare it and it
yes.
will come in your exam. I don't like this really. But what can I do? Schools have their own rules and regulation. So yes, I only focus on my daughter that you have to learn all things because you are going to school for taking knowledge, not only numbers. Numbers are important. We should teach our children and
Number
students
is just
that numbers are
evaluation.
important.
Number is just
Of course,
evaluation that how much you have learned, how much you have learned
yes.
from the whole in the whole year.
But
But
if you
students
don't
are
have
taking it.
knowledge that thing, so how can we say that one day you will be perfect in this subject or you will qualified competitive exam very easily, right?
In fact, when students come to know that this will not come in the exam, they will not interested in the learning that thing.
I don't like what is important. Sometimes students say that my exams are about to come, ma'am, please take here that what is important and what not important.
Yes.
So you know so always my I always try to make understand my students that don't think so that what is important, what is not important. Everything is important. This is the learning time. They are learning, and if they will not learn all things, so how can they develop themselves, right?
In fact, what I think that learning is not only the solution. They should understand that thing first before learning. They should
Yes, yes,
understanding that, and they can create their in their own words. That is more
of,
effective. Yes.
of
In
course.
fact, there are some students who mug up sentence like if there is written Ram jata hai, then they will write that Ram jata hai. Example. I am talking about example. They will not change that example even. There is Ram,
Yes,
then there will be Ram only. There
yes, yes.
cannot be Syam or any other name. This is the
This
problem
is a
that they
bad
don't.
this is a bad
Yes,
thing. And
yes,
I always, when I teach my students, you know so like I today I have taught them a present indefinite tense. So sometime I speak sentences that you have to translate, but
yes,
sometimes I don't tell them. I said that you should try your mind. You should make Hindi and English both from your side, because as much as they will think, so they
think.
can write. Because
Yes,
nowadays, one thing I would like to tell you, I don't like that if they are getting any topic by school, they always think that yeah, I have mobile, I can just check on Google
yes,
and I can
yes.
write them. This is very bad thing because
Very
they are
bad habit.
children.
They
This is
should
the
they
time
should
for
take
learning.
they can take help of mobile for finding out the meanings. If they
Yeah,
are not
yeah.
getting any word, they can find out and they can learn that word. New word also will add in their dictionary in their
Yes,
mind.
yes.
But in opposite, what they do, they just copy from the Google and they never even read that. They never try to
It's not
read that.
fair.
Yes,
It's not fair, because we have to learn. We can see from Google that what is the topic, how can we share, but they
but
should
it
not
should be in
just
our
copy
words.
that. Yes, yes.
Yes,
After reading two or three times, they just try to write by themselves. Like they should try to think in their mind. This is the
yes.
real education.
If he or she is able to evaluate the whole story, whatever is taught to them, has been taught to them, and they can answer the question by their own, then it is effective, right? Because the comparison is what, that you understand the story or not. But they
Of
depend
course,
only on teachers. The teacher will write the answer, then they will copy it. But it should be reversed. They should write the answer. The answer, question answer is for them. Find out the question answer from the book. But they
of
have this habit in their mind that teacher will write the answer, then I will write.
I'm totally
Yes,
agree with you. And I can understand your feeling better because you are also a teacher. So
yes.
yes. And
And I always try to encourage them to write short stories about your past stories, whatever happened in your
yes,
past,
yes,
whatever coming in your mind. So try to write that in English also. So I always try to encourage them, but it is become their habit. So they don't want to change their habit.
yeah, it happens. It
Yes.
happens.
And also, like, parents pressurize their kids so much, like a student not understanding even sums, add, addition, subtraction, and they are focusing to solve the seventh class, sixth class math. So how can he solve? First he need to
Of
understand the
course,
basic math. Yes, but
of course.
parents don't understand. They think that in exam this will not come, in exam this question will come, so you have to mark up this question, you have to remember this question. So they will remember the math structure also sometimes.
Of course, you are saying right. I'm agree with you. And I think this is the lack of education. That's why their parents think like that. Because if they are fully educated, they know the whole strategy of education. So they can't think like that.
Yes, and most of the parents only on focus only on marks. If a student is getting 90 or above 90% marks, then he is good in study, no matter how much he understand his academics or not. But if he is getting good marks, then he is good in study. This is the
Yeah.
psychology of the parents.
It's happening nowadays in our society. But I don't think so. My daughter, is she is in sixth class, but I never focus on her marks that you have to come. I never pressurize, I say to her that you have to come first in the class, but I am not so worried for her that you have to come only on first, otherwise I beat
Yes,
you. I don't think so.
in fact, teachers or parents should focus on their growth. That in last month she can't read even single word, but in this month she can read and write at least. They should not focus only on learning. That remember this thing, remember this thing. Always this happens with the kids, so they got pressurized and they lose their interest from study. This is the
Yes,
main.
yes, yes. Number doesn't reflect the quality of a student, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
it cannot show your intellectual power, that how much mental ability you have. Maybe you are not good in particular subject in this point, but you are good in other subject. Like I have one kid, he is in class 4, but he is very dull in his study. Like he don't understand, even he cannot read and write properly. But he is very good in arts. He can draw anyone's painting. Can you imagine? In a fourth class child, he can draw Hanumanji, Ramchandji, everything. Like he
It
was very
depends
good.
of interest. It
Interest,
depends
yes,
on interest.
yes. And when we praise them, when we say that, wow, you are doing very good, so maybe he will create interest in the studies also.
Of course,
Yes.
of course.
It was a very good conversation with you. I feel delighted to connect with you. I hope we will connect again.